Welcome to this Navigating Cal Grants training video. We will cover session C2, Reconciliation and Program Compliance. We will cover three major topics in our agenda for today. First, we'll start with Cal Grant reconciliation, looking at the timeline and the steps to reconcile. Then, we'll talk about the institutional responsibilities and data reporting involved with program compliance. And finally, we'll go through the review process and common findings. Let's begin with Cal Grant reconciliation. So what is reconciliation? Reconciliation is a verification that all Cal Grant funds have been dispersed to students and those disbursements have been correctly reported to the Commission via the Web Grants roster through the application of the appropriate payment codes and dollar amounts. Think of it this way. The Commission provides funding to your institution's fiscal office as well as reports for that funding so that your fiscal office can successfully track and monitor all Cal Grant funds. The Commission also provides the Financial Aid Office with various reports and rosters used for reporting disbursement information to the Commission. Your institution's registrar, Financial Aid Office, and Fiscal Office may all collect different documents that may be necessary to reconcile payments. So it is important for all these offices at your institution to be sharing and making accessible the various documents that are needed for reconciliation with each other. All too often, these offices work in silos and neglect to share necessary documents with each other. Remember, if an institution is selected for a compliance review, the entire institution is being reviewed, not just the financial aid office. Before we get into the operational details of reconciliation, let's take a look at the timeline. From August to June of each academic year, campuses will disperse the bulk of their Cal Grant awards and report the payments in the Web Grant system. July through September, schools generally make any final necessary corrections. Then, in August or September, the Commission permanently closes the award year and schools complete final reconciliation. Around late September, after the award year has closed, the Commission sends out invoices to institutions that have Cal Grant monies left over. These funds are due back along with interest accrued on them to the Commission. And finally, in October, those institutions who have not returned the excess funding to the Commission will receive penalty letters, which, if not paid, could result in the loss of future term advances, supplemental payments, or even termination of your institution's Cal Grant participation. Now let's talk about the 4 steps to reconcile. This slide shows an overview of the 4 steps to accurate reconciliation, and we will go over each step individually in the following slides. Starting with step 1, ensure payments and student statuses are reported correctly to CSAC. Step 2, account for funds received from CSAC. Step 3, verify accuracy of disbursement amounts for each student. And step 4, ensure that any remaining funds are returned to the Commission after final reconciliation. Let's start with step 1, ensure payments are reported. Verifying accuracy of disbursement amounts means ensuring that your school is dispersing the correct amount a student is eligible to receive. You may find that you need to change a student's eligibility or adjust a payment. If you find you need to report any changes that affect eligibility for new or renewal students, your office needs to send a grant record change form or a G21 to the Commission. G21 forms are used to update a student's Cal Grant eligibility, such as new financial information or grant data changes, including a dependency status change. Adjustment payments for other reasons, such as attendance status, for example, are not reported on a G21 form, but instead on the Cal Grant roster with a student's payment. This also includes ensuring that you are correctly adjusting tuition awards for students who withdraw from your institution. The Cal Grant award should not exceed the charged tuition amount. One aspect you should be aware of is a student's limited eligibility for certain situations, because as we know, not every student is in the same financial situation. A limited eligibility example could be that a student is receiving a final payment or has 12% remaining eligibility versus 50%. In cases as these, a prorated amount will show on the WebGrants roster because the student only has that remaining Cal Grant percentage left. The best practice is to reconcile payments on a weekly basis so you can catch any discrepancies and make sure all your records match before the end of the year. Step 2. Account for all funds received. Cal Grant funds are received at the business office of the educational institutions. As a financial aid administrator, you will be able to check the amount of funds being sent by checking the monthly payment activity report, which is available in WebGrants. Depending on your school's preferred method, the funds will come via a warrant or electronic funds transfer or EFT. If you have questions about your funds or about the EFT, please contact the Commission. Step 3. Verify disbursement amounts. You must verify disbursements by ensuring that payments reported to the Commission accurately reflect the amount disbursed to each student. You should check for reconciled payments or adjustments on a weekly basis using the Accept Reject report. Utilize the Reconciliation Summary Report and Detail Report to compare against your accounting ledger reports. These reports are in WebGrants under the Cal Grant section. Click Roster Reconciliation and then Display Reconciliation. From Display Type, select which report you would like to view. And finally, Step 4. Return unused funds. To return unused funds for the closed academic year, please submit a check made out to the California Student Aid Commission. Please include a letter of explanation that explains the following: student name, CSAC ID, term for which funds are being returned, amount, and the school contact information. And with that, please mail the envelope to the following address that you see on the screen. Now we're moving on to the second topic of today's presentation, program compliance. To participate in the Cal Grant program, there are a few institutional responsibilities your school must follow to stay compliant. In order to administer Cal Grant, each school needs to complete the Institutional Participation Agreement, or IPA. The current IPA is valid from 2023 to 2027. As we get closer to 2027, CSAC will start the renewal IPA process. The IPA provides guidelines on how to administer Cal Grant, data reporting requirements, information security, corrective measures, and more. If you have any IPA-related questions, please email csacipa@csac.ca.gov. Let's talk about entrance remittance. The majority of institutions have a bank account where funds are initially deposited. Funds can then be swept into an investment pool with a different bank. The investment pool must be interest-bearing, and the financial institution must be in California and insured by the FDIC. Any interest accrued on undisbursed Cal Grant funds must be returned to CSAC. Entrance remittance is due March 1st for the prior calendar year, not the school year. For example, interest earned on Cal Grant funds between January and December 2025 must be remitted by March 1st, 2026. Bank-related fees or negative interest cannot be deducted from accrued interest. The next two slides cover data reporting requirements for schools. SB 70 requires schools participating in the Cal Grant program to submit data related to enrollment, persistence, and graduation rates on all undergraduate students. You will submit the file in WebGrants on the SB 70 file upload page, which is found under the Other section on the WebGrants homepage. Click on SB 70 and then File Upload. You will include job placement rate and wage information for each program. The deadline is December 31st following the academic year. For more information, please review the SB 70 reference guide found on our CSAC website. Another data reporting requirement is the California License Exam Certification. This data ensures current and prospective students can view the school's license exam passage rates. Very important to keep in mind is that even if your school does not have a qualifying program, you still need to submit the certification form. CSAC sends a special alert to remind schools to submit the certification. When you click the link in the special alert, you will see the screen to complete the form for your school. And now let's move on to the last topic of today's presentation, compliance review. Let's begin with the review process. Now that we have covered reconciliation, we are going to briefly cover the program compliance process an institution may face if they are selected for a Cal Grant program review. If a school is selected for a review, the first step is the initial contact. The school will receive a phone call from an auditor approximately 2 to 3 months prior to the scheduled field or desk review date. The auditor will provide school staff with the date of the review, academic year to be reviewed, and the programs that will be reviewed. The compliance review is an institution-wide responsibility and usually includes the A&R accounting office. After the initial contact, school staff will receive an engagement letter confirming the review date and itemizing the information and documentation that the school needs to submit to the auditor. These items include, but are not limited to, school catalogs, student expense budgets, policies and procedures for the review period, and a completed program survey. Documents are reviewed prior to the start of the audit. Next is an entrance interview. An entrance interview will be conducted with school staff responsible for administering commission programs. The auditor will explain what to expect during the review for the week and answer any questions to facilitate the review process. Next is the field review. This review type lasts approximately 4 to 5 days. 40 student files are selected at random. The students' documents provided by the school will be examined by the auditor and any findings documented. Questions, comments, and non-compliance issues will be directed to the school contact. The contact will have an opportunity to provide a written explanation and any necessary supporting documentation. Next is the exit interview. The auditor will conduct an exit interview with school staff, summarizing the outcome of the review. Next is the draft report. The draft report is a 60-day process. It includes peer review and management review. And then we have the review report or the institution response. The school will receive the draft report identifying areas of non-compliance and required action. The school must respond within 30 days from the receipt of the draft review report. And finally, we have the final report or the closure. After all outstanding issues have been satisfactorily resolved, the school will receive a final report closing the review. Now we'll look at common findings and best practices. Here are some of the common audit findings, which are around the following areas of Cal Grant administration. Under Transfer Entitlement E2 eligibility, we have findings regarding proper documentation for early admit students and AB 840 verifications. Next, we see issues with education grade level verified incorrectly because some schools might not have a grade level policy that identifies grade levels. Next, we also see issues regarding incorrect Cal Grant payments due to the student's enrollment status or the census date from when the payment was disbursed. We also see issues with fiscal responsibilities regarding Cal Grant reconciliation discrepancies and Cal Grant interests. We also have findings regarding non-compliance with information security and confidentiality agreement. Schools should be disabling Web Grants access for any Web Grants users that are no longer employed at the school. Next is about AB 540. Some students select the wrong option to be eligible for AB 540. There are 3 options, and colleges are responsible for ensuring that the student is indeed eligible under AB 540 and that the affidavit reflects that. Next is SAP not in compliance with Title IV, especially with AB 789 that states schools cannot have SAP policies that are more stringent than federal SAP policies. And finally, our last finding is that no written procedures and policies are written at the schools. Here are some best practices as you're administering the Cal Grant program and preparing for a compliance review. Reconcile your Cal Grant funds weekly or monthly. Keep files organized and provide a clear audit trail. perform self-audits on your files, ask questions throughout the review process, attend trainings and webinars, thoroughly train new staff, consult with colleagues as you can ask them how they prepared for an audit with CSAC, review your policies and procedures and update as needed, and more importantly, sign up for our listserv. Stay on top of any deadlines, updates, and other reminders. And if you have any questions after this training, please reach out to our institutional support unit by phone or email. The training unit is also available by email for any questions or concerns. Also, if you have not done so already, please remember to subscribe to our listserv so you are up to date with any changes and deadlines, as well as any upcoming training events to put on your calendar. Thank you and see you in the next video.